Hey guys, what's up? It's Allie. I just got back from the Hearthstone Summit the other day and got a sneak peek about what is in store for Hearthstone in the year of 2019. Some of those announcements were made today, so I'm going to give you my thoughts and try and get your feedback. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so let's just start off with probably the most interesting and wow factor of the announcements today, and that is the Hall of Fame cards. The first one that is getting Hall of Famed is Doomguard. Now, when I first heard this, I was a bit taken aback because things like Carnivorous Cube and Possessed Lackey and Skull of Minari are getting rotated out. So a lot of the issues I think that people had with Doomguard was initially with Cube Lock. So I didn't think it was absolutely necessary at first, but getting the feedback from some of the developers, they really wanted to have the classes have their own identity. And Doomguard, even though we think it is Warlock's identity because it's been around forever, it's a demon, Charge is not really something that represents represents Warlock super well. So that was their decision to rotate it, partly because of class identity, which I think is fair. I'm not that sad to be losing Doomguard personally. I never was a huge Zoo player, and Cube Lock was fun, but it's rotating out. I think Charge has kind of been a source of issue historically in the past, so kind of eliminating Doomguard from the equation I think might not be all that bad. Of course, that probably is a major hit to discard Warlock, but I don't really know how well Disco Lock is going to shine in the future anyway. So that is the first card that is getting Hall of Famed. So the next card that we are going to see Hall of Famed is Naturalize. And sort of piggybacking off of Doomguard and Charge not necessarily fitting the identity of Warlock, Naturalize is a very powerful single target removal spell. And that is something that Druid is traditionally not supposed to have. So kind of taking away that tool from Druids, I think, is very fair, and I'm personally really happy to see it go. It definitely enabled crazy combo decks like Hakar Druid and King Togwaggle deck. So I am personally happy to see it go. I think Druid has traditionally been like all around one of the strongest classes in Hearthstone, and I would like to see it struggle in some respect, and not having a powerful single target removal I think is very fair. So goodbye Naturalize, see you later. You won't be able to kill my mountain giants anymore. I'm personally pretty happy about this one. Druid's been known for ramping and kind of big, strong minions, so I think not having Naturalize in the pool will kind of make it feel more like Druid. The next card on the Hall of Fame roster is Divine Favor. This one I'm personally really happy to see go. I've always found the card rather annoying in my opinion, maybe because I'm usually the control player and not the aggro player, and I felt like Divine Favor just enabled aggressive Paladin players to just, essentially dump their hands in the first half of the game, and then essentially just get rewarded the majority of the time by like a large refill of their hand. And the fact that it's only 3 mana, I just thought it was always pretty powerful. So I am personally really happy to see this card go. It almost felt akin to UI in some ways, where maybe, not as powerful, but you get your opponent down to like a couple of cards, or they're top decking, and you're like, all right, I should have this game in the bag. And then they just Divine Favor and draw, 4, 5, 6 plus cards a lot of the time. So I have felt like Divine Favor should probably get Hall of Famed for a while now, and they're finally doing it. So thumbs up for me. Very happy to see that one get Hall of Famed. Okay, so now moving on to the juicier news. The next set of cards that are getting Hall of Famed is, yep, you guessed it, Genn, Greymane, and Baku. Can I get some like hallelujah music or something? Yeah, I mean, when I heard this, I was just like, thank God. I think the fact that they're rotating Genn and Baku early, I don't know, it means a lot to me because it means they're listening to us. Clearly, a lot of people had a lot of issues with Genn and Baku, And the fact that they're doing it early, I think, shows that they care about fixing a lot of our complaints. So I'm super happy to see this go. But I will say, like, Evenlock, as a lot of you guys know, Evenlock has been one of my favorite decks of all time. Definitely my favorite deck of the Year of the Raven. So I will be a little bit sad here and there. And also, Jan'alai was my favorite card from the last set, which is significantly worse without Odd Mage being a possibility. So there are of course downsides that I'm going to be a little bit sad about, but I think it's healthy for the meta. We had our time with the even and odd decks. They were super, super powerful, and you know, they got their time to shine, but the fact that they're getting rotated early, I think it's going to mean a lot to a lot of players, and I'm very curious to hear your feedback. I'm expecting mostly just positive feedback on this Hall of Fame decision. With Genn Baku getting rotated, all of the cards that kind of accompany them will also be getting rotated too. So Black Cat, the Eel, the Murkspark Eel, and the Glitter Moth, and Gloomstag. All of those cards that accompanied Genn Baku were activated by Genn Baku will also be getting the boot. So goodbye, Genn Baku. We appreciated your time, but your time is no more. Have fun with the other Hall of Fame cards. Peace. Okay, moving on to some more announcements that were made. We are getting a random card back generator. This seems like a no-brainer to me. I don't really know why it wasn't done beforehand. I have a lot of cool card backs that I've collected over the years, and being able to kind of set that to random to see what I get is a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people will like that new feature. The next thing is the Smarter Deck Builder that is going to be implemented, which essentially will, like, no matter what stage in the deck building process you are in, whether you have just one card or if you have 29 cards, it will essentially pull data from, I think they said, like, rank 5 and above, and use an algorithm to kind of make a best guess about what cards or card will fit in the deck that you are making. I'm sort of mixed feelings on this. I think that it's a really good thing for newer players. It can be, I guess it can be a frustrating experience, kind of like, getting stomped because you don't really know how to make a deck well. Granted, there are a lot of resources online on how to do so. But I, in general, do think it'll be a nice thing for newer players. And also, I mean, if you watch my stream, you know that I get a ton of questions. Hey, Allie, I don't have Edwin for this rogue deck. What's a replacement? What can I do instead? And if there was something that, gave the suggestion, oh, well, you could try a Blink Fox or whatever it may be, I think that would be nice for people, so they don't have to go ask streamers. But on the other side of that is, I think that it might take away a little bit of fun and innovation, trial and error of trying out different cards in decks. So I don't know how good the algorithm and the data is going to be and how accurate it will be to kind of like the top tier decks, but I hope it doesn't take away too much innovation from deck building. But honestly, the thing is, with the internet now, it seems like, there's a reason why we get the meta figured out, only a few weeks after the new expansion, is because there's so many online resources. So there's already a lot of resources to kind of like auto or like net deck and stuff like that. So I don't really know how much this will affect it, but that's kind of my opinion on it. So I'd be curious to hear what you guys have to say about that too. Another feature coming is the Golden Hero update. So basically, any wins that you get in Arena with a class will count towards getting the Golden Hero portrait, when traditionally it's just been through ladder games. So I think this will be nice for Arena players that want their Golden Hero portrait but don't necessarily want to get to 500 wins by playing ladder, because maybe that's not what they enjoy about the game. So cool. I'm excited about that one for Arena players. one of the coolest changes that I think was announced was the upcoming changes to Arena. So I guess twice every expansion period, they are going to rotate out old sets and add in new sets or from older ones, which I think is pretty cool because it'll keep things fresh, and it's never as exciting to play Hearthstone in the last month right before a new expansion as it is in the first month. So hopefully this kind of shake up with Arena being able to play with the old cards will kind of be a nice change of pace from time to time, because I'm not really a Wild player, so it'll be nice to have the nostalgic feeling of playing with old sets in Arena. So I thought that was pretty cool and one of the best newer changes. So those changes to the Arena draft pool will come with the first expansion, and the sets that will be in the first rotation will be the Basic, the Classic, the Curse of Naxxramas, Whispers of the Old Gods, Mean Streets of Gadgetzan, and the Witchwood. So that's going to come with the first expansion, and those will be the sets that are in the pool. Another thing that was announced is that you will be able to re-roll any legendary quests. So before that, when you couldn't re-roll them, you'll be able to get rid of them and actually do quests that you want to complete. So these Hearthstone upgrades, the random cardback generator, the changes to the Golden Heroes, and the deck builder are all going to be coming in the next update. So even though they did not announce the expansion name, we did get to find out a little bit more about the PvE experience. We found out that it will be released a month after the expansion, which I think is really smart because, they're clearly paying attention to the fact that it's never as exciting to play Hearthstone in the last month, towards the end of the expansion release as it is in the beginning with the new cards. I mean, that just makes sense. So the fact that they're releasing the single player content a month after the expansion will kind of break up the new content, which I think is really nice. We found out that the first chapter of the PvE content will be free. And then from then on, it'll cost 700 gold for each chapter, or you can just outright buy it for 20 bucks. There is a ton of content in this one. As I said earlier, you can spend so much time, a lot of hours into this, and it's more replayable than all of the other ones in the past. I think different modes, anomaly mode, heroic mode, different rewards, lots of different hero powers, the list goes on. So that's super exciting, and I'm really hyped for everyone to get to try it out. When trying it out, one of my favorite things about the new PvE experience was you do get a friendly encounter where you're not fighting a boss, and you actually get the opportunity to swap your deck around, whether maybe take some cards out that you didn't like say you picked up elementals or something, and then you were like, oh, this actually doesn't fit. There's actually a way to kind of manipulate your existing deck and kind of shape it as you go. So I thought that was very different and one of the coolest things about the new PvE experience. All right, guys, so that is all that I can divulge, and I think that is it for all of the Hall of Fame and announcements that were made. So I'd like to give you guys kind of my closing thoughts. Going to the Hearthstone Summit, that's never happened before, by the way. This was a new thing. Getting a sneak peek about what is to come for 2019 for Hearthstone. In general, I think we're moving in the right direction. There was nothing that I heard that I was, taken aback by, or like, no, I think that's a terrible idea. I don't agree at all. Like, in general, from what I know is happening, I think they're going in the right direction. I don't think it's a secret that, there's been a decent amount of unrest in the Hearthstone community for a while now. A lot of complaints and issues with meta and just the game in general. So the fact that they even did this summit, the main focus was to just get feedback and kind of be voices for the community essentially. And we've seen, some of the developers taking to Twitter, asking for what they'd like to see for the future of the game there. So clearly Blizzard is listening, and they're being attentive, and they're being proactive about trying to give the community what they want. And I guess, now, I don't think every problem is going to be solved in a day. Things are going to take time. But from what I know, I do think Hearthstone's going in the right direction, or there's good changes coming. This is not paid sponsored that some people think anytime like you say something positive about Hearthstone, like sponsored, paid by Blizzard. No, I wouldn't tell you these things if I didn't genuinely think them. This is me being honest. I have had my issues in the past with some of the way that I know they've been doing things with Hearthstone. I think a lot of people had, and I'm excited to see the next year come. And like I said, in general, I think it's going in the right direction, and I'm excited. So I hope you enjoyed my takeaway on all the announcements and kind of what I think about what's to come. Expect more videos in the future about the expansion announcement and also card reviews, those types of things. In terms of the direction of competitive Hearthstone, in terms of esports, with the new specialist format announcement, I could probably make its own separate video, I think, on like the competitive side of it. But in short, the reality is I think only time will tell if this whole specialist format is going to work out. So I obviously want competitive Hearthstone to go in the right direction, but that wasn't really a part of the summit or the announcements today. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, the whole YouTube shebang. I appreciate it. And again, thank you so much for watching this video. Bye, guys.